Hey, it's Suzanne. It's May 18th, 2018. It's Friday, and I'm going to show you guys what I've got going on this weekend and talk a little bit about what I did earlier this week. So this week has been a very, very busy week. The green beans almost broke me. I stayed up until 1:30 in the morning canning green beans on one of the days this week. I don't know. I guess it was Tuesday. So let's flash back to that real quick. We'll flip with that real quick. Quite a spread for me to just have gathered since Sunday. There's also a couple more squash that I picked on Sunday that aren't on the table, that are already chopped up in the fridge. But right here we've got the flat potted Italian style green beans. I canned those on, well, I canned all of these actually on Mother's Day. And then this is burpee stringless green bean, just basically snapped, traditional way of doing green beans. And then my family actually really enjoys French style green beans, so I have this green bean Frencher that you can get on Amazon. I think it's like 20 bucks maybe. I'll put a link to it in the description. But like I said, my family really enjoys that kind of green beans, so I took the other burpee stringless that I picked on Sunday, most of them actually except for that one jar, and I made those into French cut green beans. So lots of green beans. All that's just from Sunday. And then I just picked these this evening. There's more burpee stringless and more of these Italian flat potted green beans. This is jumbo bush bean variety from Johnny Seeds. I'll put a link to that in the description. And then I got some squash out of the garden. I don't let my squash get very big. I really enjoy them small like this, and we really love squash sauteed in fresh homemade butter, so they don't stay in the garden to get a gargantuan size. This is pretty much the rest of the peaches I had on my 2 peach trees. I'm really surprised I got any peaches at all this year. Neighbors next door have some peach trees, and squirrels ate all of their peaches. So, and in a previous video I was saying that my onions were probably not going to do well, probably weren't going to bulb out. Most of them haven't, and definitely will not this late in the season. But some of them had already bulbed out and the tops were flopped over. So rather than wait for the rest of them, I went ahead and dug these up. And I'll put these in the shade on a rack, sheltered from the rain, if we ever get any again. Sheltered from the rain to dry out. So that's it. Hope you all have a great week, and guess I'm going to be up very, very late tonight canning green beans, but that's okay. It's a blessing. That was a lot of food, right? Yeah, it was a lot of food, but if you do a really good job and get really lucky farming, you're rewarded with more hard work. So I canned green beans all night, like I said, but I loved it. It's like my idea of partying, so I really enjoyed it. So let me show you what else I've got going on. I've got some herbs that really need to be transplanted. I mean, these guys, I've got to make a space for them. I've got some Thai basil, I've got lime basil, I've got several wormwood plants. I grew all these from seed. I've got some comfrey that I grew from seed. I have some other comfrey that my neighbor gave me. I don't have it right here though. I've got some French tarragon, some cuttings that I took from the tomatoes that I don't really need, some lemon balm, and some sweet potatoes cuttings that I need to put into the garden. Let's see if their roots are. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that. We've already got roots coming out of the bottom. So I just put these in here last weekend. They've already done that. Oh, I also have, let's see if I can find some. I have a couple of echinacea. I should, somewhere in here. Here we go. Here's echinacea. There's another one right there. And then there's some right here. Alright, so Jack's going to help me. This is where I'm going to put the next herb garden. So I've already got a little herb garden going right here. So plans for this weekend. This weekend I've got to butcher some rabbits that I am culling that I decided not to keep. I've got to get this bedding into the chicken coop. I waited forever for that to go on sale at Tractor Supply, and it finally did this year. So I like to stock up when they have it. I want to say it's $1.98 off each pack, which is a huge savings if you use a lot of the pine shavings. And there's thunder in the background. We'll talk about that, our weather that we've had the past few days. Anyhow, so I've got to get some bedding in there, and probably about half of these hens aren't really laying anymore. So I get to catch every hen, because I've been keeping chickens for over 10 years now. I don't know, maybe it's like 12 or 13. I can't remember how long I've had a flock, continuously had a flock. So anyhow, I've been keeping them so long that I've got all different ages in here. I do cull every year. Last year I was really busy though, and I don't think I did a thorough enough cull. I got rid of a few of them, but not as many as I need to get rid of. So about half of the hens in there have to go. I'm also going to clip the turkeys' wings and see if I can keep them in that pen right there. And here is the fun part. So Miss Trix had her babies today. She had her babies, a little boy and a little girl, and she still has some afterbirth coming out of her, so you just have to kind of ignore that. And it looks like one side of her udder is fuller than the other, so I don't think they're nursing. Yeah, they're not nursing on that side, so I need to, I think it's got a plug in it. Yeah, it had a plug in it. So we'll see if they start nursing on that side now. The other side is not as bloated as that one. But one little boy, that's a little boy, and one little girl. There's a little girl. There's lots of ants over there. We have the worst ant problem here, so I'm actually gonna get that nasty bedding out. Actually, I'll do that. I'll do that now. That's not one of those things that can wait, because I saw a couple ants on that baby and I just don't like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that funky stuff out of there. And I probably need to milk Trix out on the other side that they're not nursing, which that's actually kind of good, because that means she's making too much milk for them. So that is a plus, a big time plus for me. So let me clean that out real quick and then I'll finish. All right, I am back. I am gonna milk Trix out later, and what I'll do, that's not milk that I'll drink because it has colostrum in it, but I will save that. I'll put it in the freezer in case I have a sick goat baby in the future that I can feed that to. Right, so let's continue our walk. Busy, 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 busy. If you work full time and want to grow a lot of your own food, it is possible, but there's not going to be much time for anything else, so you've got to really enjoy it. And it does have its disappointments. You have animals die sometimes. You have things fail that you invested a lot of time and sometimes money into. And I mean, that's just life. You know, there's so far removed from that. Most modern people are removed from those type of disappointments, that when you start to take up this lifestyle, that's kind of something that you've got to build a thick skin for. So, but today's a good day. So we're going to talk about happy things today. It's a good day today. So I need to do some weeding. I almost didn't put a new asparagus bed in at my new place because of the weeds with asparagus beds. And this is Kogon grass. This is Imperator cylindrica. It's very hard to get rid of. Just got to keep pulling. We never really get rid of it. And so look at all those weeds. We got some rain. We had Thursday, we had 1/4 of an inch of rain. No, Wednesday we had 1/4 of an inch of rain. Thursday, yesterday, we had 3/4 of an inch of rain. And then today we had another, I think, 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch. We're actually going to go check the rain gauge after we do this garden walk. Got this, and I've been putting off, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say what this is. These are cayenne peppers. This is one of the 3 peppers that I did not start from seed. After I got into, looking at everything I did, I realized that I wanted some more hot peppers and that I did not have enough hot pepper plants. So I went and bought the cayenne. Anyhow, going back to what I was going to say, I want to do some grafting, some queen grafting with my bees, but I didn't want to do it when it was dry. It was so dry for the past few weeks that I like the larvae to be well fed, so they can't have larvae well fed without a good nectar flow. They can't get a good nectar flow without, you guessed it, rain. So we've got the rain now, so maybe I'll put that on my to-do list for next weekend, because we've had some really good rain. I have been picking green beans and picking green beans and picking green beans and picking green beans. My family eats a lot of green beans. We eat anywhere between 1 to 4 pints of green beans a week. That's anywhere between 50 to 200 and something pints of green beans a year. That's a lot of green beans. So they definitely will be put to good use. We will be eating all of them. And then these are cantaloupes. I keep playing with them. I'm looking for female fruits. I don't see any female fruits yet. This variety is Hearts of Gold. And then I have the same ones planted here. And again, the theme for this weekend for the garden is going to be pull weeds. Pull weeds. I need to get some mulch over this. My watermelons are coming up good. I have 2 varieties of watermelons planted. I have the sugar baby or icebox variety. I don't remember. I think it's pretty much the same thing. And then over here I have some orange flesh watermelons. Germination on those wasn't stellar, so I may actually, there's a couple places. Well, no, haha, lied. Look at that. I was gonna say there's a couple places where they didn't germinate, but all this good natural rainwater they're going now. So more weeds I need to pull. This evening primrose, this is different than swamp primrose. Swamp primrose is Ludwigia. This is Oenothera. This evening primrose is just it's crazy. Alright, oh, here we go. So here's a little pepper. I think this is the lunchbox pepper, I think, that I've got planted here. And then I've got banana peppers planted and cubanelles planted. And here's a banana pepper already, May 18th. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pick these. When my pepper plants can get, in good years, they can get, 2.5, 3 feet tall. So when they're small like this, if they already have fruit on them, I go ahead and pick that off. And what that does is it allows the plant to become more established and larger so that later on it can have massive amounts of fruit. So I am going to go ahead and pick those before they're necessarily ready. Mostly because really I think these plants are too small to be making fruit already. Eggplants are doing great, nice and big. I haven't picked strawberries in a few days. I've been so focused on the green beans and squash. That's really good. That is really good. It's warmed by the sun. It's absolutely delicious. So much better than the store-bought strawberry. Look at that eggplant. It's doing fantastic. those are little okra and more kogon grass that's weeded. So there should be an okra seedling in here somewhere. I'm not seeing one. Here we go. Here's one okra seedling. I planted 2 seeds in each space, and I'll eventually thin to 1. This is roselle. I started this from seed. I've grown these before, and they're a type of hibiscus where you use the sepal in a tea. If you ever have had the Celestial Seasonings red raspberry zinger, I think it's called, that is one of the primary ingredients of that tea. And I've grown it before, but I could not figure out how to really get it to steep in the tea. And I've been thinking about it, and I think you have to roast it, just like with any tea or any coffee. I think it has to be roasted first. So I'm going to try putting it in the oven first, like on a low heat, like 200, and then putting it in the dehydrator, and then try to use it for tea and see how it works then. And I think it's going to work. All right, so we got Jackie, and we got lots of tomatoes on our little determinate bushes. And these determinate bushes are a lot smaller. Usually, this is the same seed from last year. They usually get at least to there. So I don't know what the deal is this year, but there's plenty of tomatoes on them, plenty of tomatoes. So I'm not too worried about the size as long as the output's the same. There's my nasturtiums. Put on many, many, many more flowers since last time. Squash is doing great. All right. That's pretty much it for the garden. Hope y'all have a great weekend. And heck, who am I kidding? By the time I get this video up, it's probably going to be next week. So I hope you have a great work week, or a great week. And don't forget to have fun. See you later. Please like and subscribe.